everyone. Welcome back to the Anime Analysts podcast. This is the second episode.
Episode 2. Woo!
Yep. We got a big episode planned for us today. We got a couple topics we're going to talk about.
Couple heaters that I want to mention.
First, Bowen, go ahead and tell us what you've been watching. Anything else you want to add?
So far, it's the same as last week. I'm a little upset just because Zom 100 doesn't come out for like another 2 weeks. I don't really know what like the breaks in there are for.
Yeah,
just
it's kind of like the episodes aren't releasing like consistently.
Yeah,
weekly.
it's not weekly. Just because when I first started watching it, I didn't really pay attention to it too much. Just because I thought it was going to be that like, you know how you have like a show in your back pocket for when you're just looking for something to watch.
That's exactly how it's been for me.
Yeah, exactly. So I wasn't paying attention to the release date, and then it's been getting really, really good. Mm-hmm. So I've been wanting more of it. But no, the next episode isn't supposed to come out till like the 16th or something like that. And date of filming is, or right now it's the 5th. So
yeah, like I noticed like the one that just came out the most recently got pushed back like one day.
Yeah,
like I didn't really notice that because obviously I didn't know. But
do you know what studio it is?
I don't remember.
I have no idea.
If really haven't paid attention that much.
Yeah, no. If it's a bit of a niche one, that might be why. Maybe like they're wanting to, I don't know, keep value to it or like do the manga well, so it's just taking them longer. But
animation's pretty good though.
Yeah, no, I like it a lot. The most recent episode is really, really good. But yeah, so on for our topics today, one thing we wanted to talk about, as I said, it's the 5th. The One Piece live action did just come out, and it brought us to a discussion point. You know, just live actions in general. What do we think of them? Do we like them? Do we not like them? You know, can we classify them all as one thing? Like, how do we go?
Yeah, I mean, I think it kind of depends just on the adaptation. Like, clearly, some are horrible, some are okay. Like,
yeah.
For example, Death Note's just
abysmal.
It's horrendous.
Awful. It's horrendous. Awful.
But then there's some other decent ones. Like, I watched the Bleach one and Rurouni Kenshin, the final.
Yeah. I've heard about that.
So, yeah, we were talking about that for a little bit, and like I said, the guy who plays Zoro in the One Piece live action.
Oh yeah, same guy as Rurouni Kenshin. Does he play the main guy in Rurouni Kenshin?
No, he's not Kenshin.
He's not Kenshin. Okay.
He's either the bad guy or one of the side guys. I can't remember.
I haven't seen it. I could see him playing a pretty good bad guy. I liked him. I liked Zoro a lot in the show.
Yeah, he did. He did good.
I thought, on the topic of the One Piece, I think out of all of the live actions I've seen, I'm going to take Detective Pikachu out of this just because, in my opinion, that movie is so good. That movie is so good.
Peak live action.
It's peak live action. It truly is. But out of like the actual, I guess, just like shows that have come out and everything like that, I think the One Piece one has been the best that I've seen so far. I remember when I first started, like, I guess looking into live action, the first one I watched was Dragon Ball Evolution. And that is arguably the worst, not even just live action, arguably the worst movie I've ever seen in my entire life. First off, I never watched Dragon Ball. So I just watched it thinking like, oh, who knows, maybe this will summarize it for me. Maybe it does a good job. Reading reviews on it, all it says is that it's the worst, like most disrespectful thing to come out about Dragon Ball ever. Like the main character, the guy who plays Goku, his name is Justin. Like they fully just like whitewashed it, which, I mean, it came out in like early 2010s. So I guess that was just like the standard for that time, especially if you're trying to like westernize the film. But I mean, the story was horrible. The guy who played Piccolo, he looked like, I mean, he just looked like a grape. Like it wasn't good. It was horrible. It was so bad. So that was my, I guess, introduction into it. And I think One Piece compared to that, One Piece did a great job.
Oh, they did so well. Yeah, you mentioned the Attack on Titan live action too. I didn't even know they had one.
Oh, dude, it's buns. I saw it in theater. When
did that come out?
That would have been my freshman year of high school, I want to say. So that was what, 2015, 2014?
Yeah.
Something about that. I mean, the Titans were just, and I guess in the show it's like this kind of idea, but the Titans, they just like CGI'd big people. Like that's all they did. And so it just looked bad. Like the acting was bad. And even as like a little 13 or a 14-year-old, like I was like, because I liked Attack on Titan at the time. Like I really, really did. But even as like a little kid, like I was like, this is bad. I even knew it was bad.
Was it like fan made?
I don't know.
I feel like back then, like season 2 would have been coming out?
Because season 1 would have come out when we were in like 7th grade.
Season 2 was really early.
Yeah.
And there was a long break
Yeah.
in between.
I want to say it was season 2. The movie isn't season 2. The movie's basically season 1 story. I think they have a couple of them. And I only watched the first one because I was like, I'm not giving my time of day to any other ones.
Yeah, I wonder if they're fan made or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just thinking about the live action stuff, a lot of the stuff that One Piece did well is what other ones just completely lacked on. Like, I think for One Piece, they did a great job of, like there's a lot of unrealistic things that happen in the anime of One Piece that just couldn't have been translated into a live action, which I thought they cut out, like, the smart stuff. Like the Arlong fight, like, it wasn't the same. Like, he wasn't, like, spearing at Luffy with his nose and, like, chomping everything up. Like, it took a more realistic approach, which made it a lot more watchable.
Yeah.
And less, like, just straight up goofy. Which I feel like, talking about the Death Note live action, I feel like that's, like, the most straightforward live action you could do.
Yeah, they interpret it basically book to picture. Like, it was as just on screen as they could have done it. And that's not possible. You can't do that.
No.
Like, what you have to do if you're going to, like, make a live action is you have to understand that a lot of the things that happen in these animes and these shows, they can't exist in our world. And if you're going to try and the whole point of live action is putting something in existence in our world. And there's just aspects of it that you can't do and everything. And Death Note just tried to keep everything on book. And that was its downfall. I mean, like, it wasn't good in general. William Dafoe is in that. Did you know
I know.
that?
Isn't he Ryuk?
Yeah, he's Ryuk. And I'm like,
it's crazy.
How did they get him for that?
Even the Light is, like, a pretty big actor now, too. He's in a few other things.
I've seen his name. I don't know. I can't remember his name. It's on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah, I don't know it.
But, yeah, I mean, he's in mainstream media. Fun fact, the girl, I forget what character she played. You've seen a bit of Shameless, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the head sister, or whatever she is, basically the one who runs the home or whatever they do.
Fiona.
Fiona. I've never watched Shameless. But she's in the Dragon Ball Evolution. That's where she got her start. Yeah.
That's
what
crazy.
A horrible movie to get a start in.
She's a good actress, though.
No, she does a good job.
But yeah, like that, I feel like everything you could have just basically done the same, except the Shinigami. Like, for those, you could have just done, like, people in, like, suits.
Yeah,
or, like, always
yeah.
in the corner or something. Like, the fact that they just did this horrible CGI of, like, a replica of Ryuk just made it so dumb.
I mean, you look at, like, these modern... Because that's what Ryuk is. Ryuk's a god of death. You look at, like, these modern interpretations of death, and it's just, like you're saying, it's just some dude in a suit.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And, like, I would have really, really liked if they would have done that and almost, like, humanized him more than they did. Like, keeping him as that CGI, it just took away from what I was able to, like, I guess, immerse myself in.
Exactly. Yeah, but I personally loved One Piece. Like I said, they just handled it really well. And, like, they just changed up fights and certain scenes about everything. I really liked that they cut the entire Don Krieg fight.
Yeah.
I like that because I feel like that fight just would have, like, been so hard to replicate. Like, especially, like, he's got, like, the spiky shield and he's punching that and, like, everything. Like, that would have been so hard to replicate. So just cutting that and just making the Arlong part a little longer, I felt like that really worked for me.
Because I think the story of Arlong's really, really good. So I enjoy it. Plus, like, Nami and everything like that.
Yeah, the cast was great. Nami and Zoro, for me, really got it down. I thought the actor who played Arlong was pretty good. I think they did as good as they possibly could have with how they actually had Arlong appear.
My personal favorite was Luffy. Like, I remember I saw this an interview between him and Oda. And Oda was like you are Luffy. Like, this is who I would want to be Luffy. And, like, I look at him and I'm like, that's Luffy. Like, I don't know how. Like, his face is almost, like, animated to an extent. Really well. Yeah, he does a really good job. I think his character and, like, him himself, he's just such, like, a joy-filled individual, and I think, like, you couldn't have really casted anyone else. Like, I would have almost been upset knowing who could have been casted if they picked someone else. Yeah,
they could have done a lot worse in my opinion, but I liked Luffy. I thought the actor did a great job, especially at, like, capturing his silliness and the bond with the whole crew, especially in that first, like, East Blue saga. But I feel like what the show was missing for me, like I said, it had that silliness and the adventure feel, but, like, Luffy's biggest trait in the anime, and especially just, like, throughout the whole thing, but specifically in the East Blue saga for me, that, like, brings the crew together, is, like, this innate ability to just, like, bring hope to the hopeless and, like, literally he's like a magnet to people. He just draws people in to want to change themselves. And I feel like the live action just missed that a little bit, and it was more just like him like being like, dreams are good. Like you should have one and you should go for it.
Look, it sounded a little cornier in
Mm-hmm.
my opinion, a little bit.
But that's kind of the whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, we can be, as nitpicky as we want about it. And I think at the end of the day, we can spend just hours upon hours dissecting the areas that they did wrong. But with something, you're given a script that is, in your opinion, you've said it before, the best piece of fiction that you've ever read in your life. I don't know if there's a way that you can interpret that without having people be upset.
That was exactly my thoughts too.
Yeah.
Like, you can't do it perfectly.
No, you can't.
It's just completely different mediums. You can't do it. But I thought they handled it really well. I thought the sets were incredible.
Oh,
Baratier was so good. Everything looked so good. The Going Merry was good. I was glad they had like the realistic sheep head and not like the little circular one.
Yep. My personal favorite scene is when he's eating the fruit when he's a kid. Just because I was watching that and I was like, dude, I would devour that fruit. Like it looked so just like juicy and scrumptious for some reason. I was like, I would hammer that fruit. Yeah.
The one set that I did not like, which I was so sad I didn't like, was Arlong Park.
Didn't like Arlong? What was wrong?
I feel like in the show, it's like, it almost feels like an empire. Like this kingdom for Arlong. And then in the live action, it was like an amusement park almost. Like they had like Shark Attack, like carnival games.
It looked a little more gimmicky,
And like instead of just having like pools like surrounding Arlong Park and like the Ocean Gate, they just had like a normal gate and then like a swimming pool with a slide going into it. But you get what you get.
Yeah, I mean,
I still loved it.
Yeah,
it was still definitely the best live action I've seen.
I said, I haven't finished it yet, but that is something that I am planning to watch. But yeah, I think once I do finish it, I would like to talk about this more. I think it'd be good.
Yeah, it's a good topic.
Yeah, and on the topic of topics, another thing that we want to talk about. Just because, we're two dudes, we're giving our opinions on anime. And there's no way to really, beat around the bush without giving our hot takes. We got to give our hot takes here and there. And Trey, if you want to start.
Yeah, I got a couple. Right off the bat, I'm going in. Attack on Titan is very overrated, and Eren Yeager is an extremely overrated MC.
I completely agree. I love Attack on Titan. God. I think it's a great show.
I like Attack on Titan. Everyone's like, especially like TikTok and like Twitter, Attack on Titan's the greatest anime of all time. It's not even close for me.
No, it's not. I don't even have it in my top 10.
Like maybe scraping in there for me.
Yeah,
but Aaron's not even scraping the top 50.
Yeah,
for me.
The character itself and like the character arc that like he goes through and everything like that. Like I think that's like an interesting like take and everything like that, and an interesting outlet like way to look at it is like the inevitable that comes in like, I guess, prioritizing the things that you love compared to prioritizing others. But like, I don't know. I've never been able to connect with Eren in any way, which part of me when I watch these shows, especially when I was younger, you look for these like windows and mirrors to like almost imagine yourself in these characters' shoes and everything like that. Like, especially when I was like first watching it, like what we talked about in the first episode, like Sword Art Online, I was like, oh, if I was in that, like I'd go ham, I'd go insane, I'd have dual wielding, all of that stuff. But with like Eren, I've just never been able to do that. Like I've never been able to look at him and actually connect, which might be a personal thing.
Yeah, that's pretty big for me too. I'm very character driven.
Yeah. And
it's kind of hard to relate with Eren on anything. Yeah. Because everything that's happened to him cannot happen to you.
No, it's impossible. But sadly, I'm never being shipped to Alcatraz or whatever it is.
Yeah. He's just like a little emo boy.
Yeah.
And he kind of pisses me off a lot of the time. He reminds me a lot of, not like the way he acts and everything, but just like my dislike for him. Like I know he's a good MC for the show, but I just hate him. Is Subaru.
Yeah.
From ReZero.
Oh yeah.
I hate him. He's just a whiny little bitch the whole time.
Yeah. He just cries all the time. He just dies all the time.
The first season is brutal. I just want to smack the shit out of him for the first like 15 episodes.
It's the same with Deku in in My Hero. Like he just cried all the time. And on the topic of My Hero, I think no matter, because all I hear about that show is how good the manga is and like how well written the story is and how good it's going to get. I think there is nothing they can do anymore because the fan base has completely destroyed it. The show is beyond reach now. Like the fan base has completely killed it.
That's pretty true. At least for the anime,
Yeah.
the manga is like I know like a lot of people say that like there's no way it's gonna keep going up because of fan bases
Mhm.
are in it, but there's also the other take of like it's way overhated because the manga's so good.
Yeah.
But I personally like I had to drop the show
Yeah.
on this new season. Like, I've thought about reading the manga, but I don't know if I'm ever gonna get to it. I
I
have so much other stuff, especially reading
Oh,
to
there's
do. There's so
so
much to
many
read.
shows. There's so much manga. When I first started manga, like I thought I had like, gotten a good chunk of anime done, and I realized what's been like adapted into an anime is not a fraction of what is
No,
good in
there's
manga.
so many. It's ridiculous. But yeah, I don't know. And that kind of upset me because I was starting to like My Hero
Yeah.
a little more. It was getting better.
Hmm.
The overall arc and everything. Starting to like it.
Yeah.
Especially Mirio.
Oh, Mirio. I will
Love
say Mirio,
Mirio.
dude, especially his scene where he's like, I'm still the million. Like,
Yeah.
oh, that scene goes so
See,
hard.
there are very
There are good moments in it, but
peak moments, but it
dude,
just
the fan base truly ruined it for me. Like you brought up TikTok earlier, and like how TikTok kind of like gives us, I guess, impresses upon what we think. And TikTok completely ruined that show for me.
it's horrible.
It's horrible. The fan base is horrible. All the ships that they do and stuff like that. Like I don't want to look at these because they're what 15 and stuff like that. Like I don't want to look at these young characters and imagine like them being in relationships with each other, which some aspect of it is driven, like Deku and Chaka. How do you Chaka from?
What is it? Like Orihime or something like
what's
that?
her something? It starts with an O. The girl who levitates stuff and has the
Yeah.
gravity power.
You can Google it if you want.
Yeah, I'll Google
Just
it a little
cut
bit.
out
Yeah.
this whole. Otohime? I swear there's like an O and a Hime in it.
It is Ochaka. It's Ochoko Uraka. It sounds like the name of the
Choco Uraka?
Chaka. Chaka. That's what I was trying to. What's that from? Land of the Lost. Land of the Lost. What a great show.
Sharisa.
But okay, back to the topic we were talking about. But yeah, with her, there's some aspects of it that are, the romance is kind of driving the story a little bit, and I like that. I do like that because it's not the main plot. But when you get a fan base that is completely trying to make it the main thing, and like that's all they care about, like oh my god, it just ruined it for me because it was so good. It really was good, but
It's usually like opposite. Like fans are hating on fan service, and then like saying how it takes away from the show, and then My Hero fans are like making their own fan service.
yeah, dude, I've never
Some
been
of them
on.
are bad.
Dude, I've never been on Wattpad before, but I can't even imagine what the Wattpad My Hero looks like. Oh, it's probably a cesspool.
It's gotta be bad. Oh. Okay. I got another hot take.
Lay it on me.
Neon Genesis Evangelion is boring as fuck.
Boring as fuck.
Horrible.
So bad. Could not even. I can't sit through it.
It's boring as shit. Shinji is just a whiny little bitch. He's Subaru on steroids. And, like, I know, like, so many fans, like, Cade
Yeah.
is always like, there's so much, like, Christian symbolism in anything and all this and that. Like, it's so cool. It goes so deep. You could just keep looking into, like, all these theories about it and, like, everything. It just keeps going and going. It's so deep. It's so good. No, it's not.
I don't like it.
Shinji's a little cunt.
Yeah.
The show doesn't hold my attention. And the author himself has come out and said he just put the Christian symbolism in it because he thought it was cool.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have meaning. You can reach all you want, but you're never going to find it because it's not there. It's not part of the show. The guy just put it in because it's cool.
I think, yeah, I mean, if that's just supposed to be like a medium to like carry the show, or what at least the fans think carry the show, and even the author is like addressing the fact that he just threw it in there. Like, how can you justify it at that point? I think some shows have done like Christian symbolism really, really well. Like Devilman Crybaby, for existence, the ending of it is that's pure biblical symbolism, and I loved it. Not because of that. I learned about that later on, and it made me like it even more. But yeah,
that's what these Evangelion fans are reaching for. Like, there's all this shit in there, but there's no.
Nope. Don't care about it.
Like, all the people that love it and have told me to watch it are like, okay, but like the show's just a build up for End of Evangelion, the movie, and I'm just like, okay, I don't want to sit through 26 episodes for like a half decent movie, which I did.
You did it.
Somehow I can sit through that, but I can't sit through Cowboy Bebop. But
what a great show!
I did it. I watched it in
is.
like 2 days.
Yeah.
And it's so bad. Dude.
I
hated it.
Yeah, man, and not just that. You also need like a One Piece-esque map to figure out what order to watch. It's brutal.
I might just be a fucking idiot, but I'm like clueless.
Yeah.
Half the show, and that might just be because I couldn't pay attention to it well enough.
It didn't hold my attention at all.
Confusing. It's boring.
Mm-hmm.
There's no characters that I liked in the show. Not a single one. Maybe the hot lady. But
yeah. That was the only thing going through my mind. But yeah, I mean, what do you call it? Neon Genesis Evangelion is one of those shows that I don't really give my opinion on because I think you can because you finished it, but I couldn't finish it. I couldn't do it. So I'm like, I don't want to say it's bad without fully giving it my attention. But it couldn't hold my attention.
Yeah.
It couldn't do the bare minimum that entertainment is supposed to do, and that is entertain.
That itself says something. If so many people like this is one of the greatest anime of all time. I know so many people with it in their top 10, but then it can't even hold your attention to watch it. And then 90% of the people I've talked to who've watched it also hated it.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, you find the one odd man out that's like, this is amazing.
But it's just like people trying to be elitist.
Yeah.
I swear to God.
Trying to just be different. Mm-hmm. On the topic of that, can we talk about how angering it is to just see people just want to be different with anime? Like, just stray away from mainstream because it is mainstream. Mm-hmm. And you see that in everything. You see it in music. You see it in movies. But with anime specifically, you see this, like, elitist mindset that's formed from it. And it's like they think they're, like, better because of it. And it just, it makes me so mad.
Yeah. For me, it's not even people, like, trying to like different stuff. It's just hating on popular stuff. Yes. People like, Naruto is like a 4-year-old show. You don't like. No one should watch that. It's boring. It's stupid. He's an idiot. MC. Like all the shit. Sure, it's a shonen manga. It's for like 14, 15-year-olds.
When it started off, it was built for children.
What it's for.
Yeah, it was on Disney XD for a little bit. Like you gotta get past that a little bit. Like if you can't get over that aspect of the show was never meant for you in the first place. Yeah. That is your own fault. That's not the show's fault.
You're just. And that also goes into it. People like watch it and like say they finished it and loved it just so other people know they've watched it.
Yeah.
Same with the hating. It's like, I hate this. I want you to know I hate it.
Yeah.
And they're more outwards about that than like their elitist shows that they like that they actually didn't probably even like because they're not good.
Yeah. It's going off that. It seems like people are more invested with disliking stuff than they are with just actually just watching it and immersing themselves into this. Which, Naruto, in my opinion, is one of those, because I do love it. I love it so much. But it's one of those that I hear the most backlash for. And I think that people just hate it just so they can be different, man.
Yeah, I also feel like a big part of hating on Naruto is timing on when you watch it.
Oh, true.
Like it was the first one of the first few you watched, first one I watched, and it just like built this like love of anime. Like so many people have that for Dragon Ball. But then when I've like watched like the start of Dragon Ball, like I've watched like the first 50 episodes, like it just doesn't do it for me.
Yeah.
But I'm not sitting here like Dragon Ball shit. I just accept it. It's not for me, and I don't like it.
Yeah, it's sometimes anime just isn't like that, and you just gotta accept that there probably is an aspect of it that falls back on you rather than a show that is loved by hundreds of millions of people.
It's probably you,
a little bit, not the other. 7% of the entire population that watches that show weekly.
The show that's gone on for 40 years is probably pretty decent. It might just be a little bit that just kind of being a cunt about
You're just being a dick. Like, quit being a dick. Quit shitting on what I like. Bringing it back to kind of what we were watching recently. I recently rewatched Made in Abyss, Season 1, because I was going to watch Season 2 because I hadn't watched it yet. And I was like, you know what, haven't seen the show in a bit, going to rewatch Season 1, refresh my brain a little bit. And I completely forgot how much of a pedophile that author is. There's so many little drawings of Reg and Rika just like basically naked. Like at one point Rika's
in the show?
Not fully nude, obviously, but like very, very close. Like at one point, Rika is like dissecting Reg, when she finds him in the abyss, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I stuck like a ruler up his ass just to like measure his ass."
I don't
And like
remember this
I
stuff.
checked his penis and stuff, and I'm like, "Why the fuck are we talking about this?
I don't remember this.
Get in the abyss. Don't just quit talking about this little boy's dick." Like or this, and then like the girl's like pissing blood after she gets like stung by the oh, I forget what the name of the monster is. It's when they get to like layer past the point of no return. Um, when they meet the oh, are they called walkers or hollows? When they meet their first hollow, she gets stung and like the guy is like going to wash her pants for her, and like he just like staring at it, and like a girl comes over and is like, "Oh, are you staring at the blood-stained pee? You like the blood-stained pee?
Little dirty
You
boy.
little dirty man, you little scoundrel." And I'm like, "Dude, what? Get back to the show." I'm like, "Get back to the show. I get it's supposed to be comedic relief. Do comedic relief elsewhere. Make a funny face every once in a while. It doesn't have to be pedophilic." My take here is Made in Abyss without that would be a 10 out of 10 for me. But because that's in it, Made in Abyss is like an 8.
Hmm.
Oh, I loved Made in
Yeah, I
Abyss.
think I need to rewatch Made in Abyss because I don't remember a single thing you just said.
Dude, it's so weird. It's so whack.
I just remember the good stuff.
Yeah, and the good stuff is great. The good stuff is so good. The good stuff is so good.
Mhm.
But oh yeah, I completely forgot to ask. What are you watching right now? What's up with you?
Basically watching the same stuff still. Gintama.
Mm.
I watched all of One Piece in like one sitting over the weekend
Like all of what you had not caught up with?
of the live action.
Oh, all of the live. Yeah. That would have been.
Yeah.
Part of me was like, does he mean he rewatched One Piece this weekend? I was like, no way. I was like, no, that's like 3 months or something like that.
I started watching The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya too, which is okay right now. But
I have not. I didn't know that was a thing.
it's okay.
What is it like? Slice of life? What is it?
It's kind of like a little mystery type stuff. I don't know. I'm not that far into it. I really just clicked it and watched it. It's basically like it's about this dude in high school, and there's like a chick in his class who's hot, so he like tries to talk to her, but she's like
new.
weird as shit, and she's like, unless you're like an alien or like an esper, don't ever speak to me. And she's super weird, and like like if you're not like part of the Men in Black or some shit like that, then she's like, get the hell away from me.
She's very conspiracy.
Yeah, but
theorist.
she's like super. Yeah, but she's super hot. And then he's like, oh, like she's like, she always bitches because she could like be like the ace of any sports club. And she's like, none of these clubs are fun for me. I just want to know about espers.
Yeah. Wow.
So he's like, why don't you just start a club about like espers? She's like, all right, I should do that. And then she's like, you got to be in the club though, because nobody wants to join it. And it actually relates because the one thing I hate about the show, and I don't know if I'm gonna watch it, she like forces this upperclassman to join it because she has massive titties.
Yeah.
And like to try and get other people to join it, she basically like just like forces her to wear like bikinis and shit
Whores
around
her
school.
out a little bit. Yeah.
And like she's like, get those fucking jugs out, baby. Like get some people to join. It's like
makes her work the street corner.
Just put flyers up. Like why do you do you like conspiracies? Come to our club. You don't have to be like milk her titties like for people to want to join.
Gazongas over here.
So I guess it kind of relates. But I did want to talk about Undead Unluck.
Yes.
Has a anime comes out either October 6th or 8th. I can't remember. But early October, but it is one of my favorite manga that I have been reading recently.
Yeah.
To me, it feels like it's a shonen, but it's kind of like Chainsaw Man, but not exactly. Like it's a super bizarre, weird story.
Yeah.
But it's not like so like out of shonen weird, like kind of how Chainsaw Man is. So it kind of like keeps me in a little more. It keeps me dialed with the story. Because like Chainsaw Man, I feel like it's good. It's not that good.
Yeah.
Another hot take. Not that good. And it's just like, it's easier to follow. What is that face?
I really like Chainsaw Man, but okay, keep her going.
But yep, October 8th or 6th, I don't remember
the exact, but
watch
in that
out
range.
for that one. That one's coming. That one's good.
Okay,
you'll like that one.
Okay, I'll have to give her a watch. Maybe I'll borrow a couple mangas and have to give them a read. I need a new manga to read. I really do. I've been slacking so hard in that department recently. I've been in the weirdest way. It's weird because I'm loving anime right now, which is timing wise, it works out so well because I wasn't watching it that much when we were about to start this podcast, and I've just been loving it recently. But manga, I felt I just got kind of burnt out on. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure what happened there because it's like they're two sides to a coin, but they're a coin. You know what I mean? Like they fall in the same department, but for some reason I'm just feeling a little burnt out.
I feel like you got to get like a perfect manga,
Yeah,
and then you'll just be drawn.
oh,
Right
I'll
back
just
in.
be
But also,
hooked.
I feel like for me at least, like during school, like anime seems easier.
Yeah.
It's actually not because I can just read.
I can read it so quick.
Like I can read like a full volume of manga, and I've gone through more of the story.
Yeah.
And it goes a lot quicker, but it's just like harder to like open up a physical book.
Yeah.
And feel like it's not taking your time away.
With anime, I click the space bar on my laptop, put my head to the side, tilt my laptop a little bit, and then boom, watch like 7 episodes.
Just manga feels less leisurely to me. Like I actually read it to like get a story. Anime, I kind of just like I don't have shit to do. I'll just sit here and turn the show on.
Yeah. Cue ball myself a little bit, cue ball my brain.
Yeah, well, you sounded like that Chainsaw Man comment was a little bit of a hot take for you.
A little bit.
Talk about that.
I just really like Chainsaw Man. I just really, really like it. Here's the thing, though. Chainsaw Man is one of those shows that when it came out, I was very burnt out in that moment. I wasn't watching a lot.
Something super fresh for you.
Something came out, and it smelled good. And it was like in an animated movie. When they put the pie on the windowsill, and I was like, and I floated up and I levitated towards this, and I loved it. I loved Denji. I loved all of it. I loved his little sidekick that is him now, and it's just
his pervertedness works for you.
Yes, no, his pervertedness. It's like it's done well. Which on the topic of that, like fan service and everything like that. Like, what do you think of fan service, Trey?
Yeah, fan service is great.
But
if it's used for the show and necessary, and it's not just fan service to be fan service.
Exactly. Good. Fantastic example. Yes. Like we just talked about Chainsaw Man. Fan service in this aspect is a catalyst of the main character's development, and him being manipulated in this aspect is by this girl coming after him and like giving him something that he never had before, which was another person's love. But in a show like, what's a good answer? Hate that I watched this show. Hate it so much. You ever seen My Girlfriend is a Gal?
I've seen the first couple episodes.
First off, that show has some really funny moments in it, which is what kept drawing me back. Like the whole 17 of the 18 actual minutes would be awful, but then that 1 minute, I'd just be laughing so hard. That is an example of fan service done solely for the purpose of just getting you a little bricked up for the show. Just get
kind of a little done with purpose though, because isn't that the point of the show?
I wouldn't necessarily so. I would say the point of the show is that the girl is supposed to be a bit of a harlot. She's supposed to be a bit of a hoe, right? And then he meets this girl and oh my God, what do you know? She's not a hoe, and that these are rumors, and that she's actually a really good girl, and that, she's a great person.
And then the fan service is kind of just like proving that whole point in reverse again.
Yeah. The fan service at that point is like what's the point of this? Like now that we know there's like a deeper understanding of this girl, why do I need to see her jugs anymore? They don't need to be poking out. Like,
the whole point was she's not a whore.
Yeah, so
she's a real person.
Yeah,
so why show her titties and take her back?
Which in no way are we saying if a girl is wearing a promiscuous top, is she a whore? Never. I'm not saying that whatsoever. But in this aspect, in this show, that is a feature of her that was meant to describe her as a whore. Which I've said the word whore a lot here. I'm not a big fan of that word.
Have you seen Kill la Kill?
I have seen Kill la Kill.
Kill la Kill is fan service done perfectly.
Kill la Kill is amazing.
Perfectly. There's endless amounts of fan service in that show, but it all has a purpose.
Yep.
The show is beautiful. Yeah. I love Kill la Kill. Easily in my top 10.
Really?
It's so good.
I watched Kill la Kill at a young age. I watched Kill la Kill when I was going through puberty, so I didn't even notice the story, man. My eyes were locked. Dude, it's so good. I need to rewatch Kill la Kill. I need to.
I watched Kill la Kill when I was right after I finished Gurren Lagann.
Oh, okay.
Because it's like when you're in the phase where you just love a show, you're just Googling.
Yeah.
What's like Death Note?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I've done that so many times. Yeah.
But yeah, they kind of they're not really similar, but they kind of have
similar vibes.
Yeah. Yeah. They both the biggest similarity is the soundtrack is incredible.
Dude, Kill la Kill's, oh my god, Kill la Kill soundtrack is so good. I've never seen Gurren Lagann, so.
You haven't?
No.
That's
the show where like they fight with
fight
like
the power.
That's the show where they fight with like galaxies and stuff.
Yeah,
right?
it's a mecha, but it just
I got no problem with
goes
mechas.
a little crazy.
I don't know the name of it. I'll have to find it one day. But when I was really, really young, and I was watching Toonami, this is where I got my start on anime, was Toonami, which was, for those that don't know, Toonami is Cartoon Network. They used to do it every Saturday. Or was it Friday? I forget when it was, but it was from like 10 p.m. onward. So I'd have to be like, because I wasn't allowed TV time when I was that young, man, because I was a rapscallion. Who knew what I was doing? But so I'd have to get like actually like a foot away from my TV in my room, have the volume at like 1, just so I could watch these shows until I, grew up old enough to where I didn't have a bedtime. But on Toonami, after Naruto, there was this mecha anime that I watched. And I watched the entire thing when it came out, because it was only like 12 episodes. And I just watched it weekly right after Naruto. And that show was amazing. And I couldn't tell you the name of it. Couldn't tell you the plot of it. Couldn't tell you anything about the characters. I just remember watching that show as a kid and just being like, this is fire.
Yeah, you have no idea what it was.
No idea what it was, but I just remember watching it and just being so full of joy.
Like as Gundam?
Yeah, it was a Gundam. It was something Gundam.
Yeah.
But and it was what do you call it? It was like 2 teenagers. Like the boy finds this Gundam suit and the girl's in the Gundam suit. And then they like fight crime and like what is, the New York City of their world. Mm-hmm. And like for some reason the aliens in this, I guess I do remember more of the plot than I think I do. But like the aliens of this world are also mechas. That's one thing that I struggled with mechas was like, why is everyone in a mecha?
Yeah.
Like, why does everybody have a mecha? That doesn't seem like something that like the poor,
And then the main character is always in like a mecha that looks practically the same, but his mecha is just way better.
His mecha is the tits. Like his mecha is 10 out of 10 better than any other mecha. But it looks the exact same. Maybe it's got like a blue stripe down the middle or something like that.
How I think about that is like having just like a cracked out mecha is Darling in the Franxx.
Oh.
Zero Two and the dude are just like the whole show is basically the same.
Mm.
And then like at the end they're like floating through space and they're mecha instead.
Yeah.
That's kind of like Gurren Lagann, but Gurren Lagann's cool.
Oh, Darling in the Franxx. I love Darling in the Franxx.
You did?
The ending of it kind of killed it.
Yeah.
But the actual show itself I liked so much.
I was going through my like I wanted like a romance anime so depressing.
Oh, that's what I wanted too. I watched. Oh, what was
fit perfectly well.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the stoner era too.
The stoner era of anime is a rough era of anime.
Yes.
But oh my god, dude! I mean, like during that era, I wasn't looking for like story. I wasn't looking for characters. I was looking to be destroyed.
I was looking for rip my heart
out, stomp on it, do like throw a boogie bomb on my heart and just like hit the gritty. Like I was looking for the thing that was going to destroy me the most. The one show at that time that really scratched that itch for me was, oh my god. So Darling in the Franxx did it for me. The show that did it first though was Piano Player. Your Lie in April.
Yeah.
That show was like heroin to me.
Never
like
finished it.
You are smoking crack. You are smoking crack.
All right. Maybe I'll go back, finish it. Talking about more mechas though, we were already talking about a mecha earlier.
Oh yeah.
Attack on Titan.
Oh my god, that show is a mecha anime, if you think about it. He's driving the little guy.
Yeah.
I have a memory of introducing that show to my friend, and I remember when Eren popped out of the Titan, because I was just a little dumbass kid, like I couldn't think past what I couldn't see. So I had no idea that he was in there. I remember watching it with my friend thinking like, dude, this is going to blow his mind. And he was like, he's driving the big man, right? I got so heated.
Yeah, so it's a little more obvious.
Now that I'm an adult.
I do remember that also just killing me.
Mm-hmm.
But talking about those anime that just rip your heart out, another hot take. Romance anime are better than shonen anime.
Oh, romance anime are so much better than shonen anime.
I love them, especially the more I get into it.
Yeah, man.
And this is like kind of my argument, but it doesn't really work because shonen are kind of just like copy and paste of the next one. But so is romance a little bit. But I just feel like I like the adult themes of romance.
I do too.
Oh, like seinen everything too. The shonen just it is childish. That's like kind of the point of it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just overdone.
Yeah, it's just supposed to be
Getting
big
tired of
fight.
it.
Scratch that jingly keys. That's what it's supposed to be. Just
Mm-hmm.
jingly keys in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, romance anime. That's jingly
Oh
diamonds.
my
They're
god. Horimiya.
peak.
I had to turn off the episode this week. It was not doing it for me.
You couldn't let it destroy your
No,
opinion.
it was.
Yeah, smart decision.
They're getting worse.
Oh, I'm not even watching it. I think but yeah, dude, romance anime they're just incredible. I remember when I was going because the first romance anime I watched was this one called Say I Love You, and that was
Mm-hmm.
back in I want to say like freshman or sophomore year of high school, something
Little
or
ugly
other.
quiet girl.
Yep, lonely.
Popular man.
Yep, exactly. And
That's most of them.
most of them. And my favorite, I guess niche of those is when you flip it. When it's like popular girl,
Yeah, I like
absolute
that shit
bum
too.
loser man.
I like that shit
I
too.
love those ones so much.
Yeah. Like lovely complex. Like
Oh.
little short boy with short man complex going after this
What a fantastic
redheaded stallion of a woman.
dude! What a fantastic show that is because that talks about a
Oh, it's
real,
so good.
like genuine, I guess, modern day word for it, ick that women have, which is height differences and everything like that. And that show came out so long ago.
I rewatched that show recently. I thought the woman was like she had to be like 7 feet tall or something. She's like 5'8".
Yeah, and he's like 5'2". Like he's just such a small man.
Yeah. She's like not that tall.
Mm-hmm. And dude, he's such a Chad.
Dude, he is a Chad. He's a beast.
Dude,
the manga's even better.
Dude, when he's like giving her the cold shoulder, oh my god, I was like, yeah, like get the guillotines ready, bro. Oh yeah,
I love it. Horimiya this week though, it's getting weird. Like you're talking about, it's kind of had it in the start, but it's just like so blatant about it now. Like Miyamura like turned to hug Hori, and it's like supposed to be this cute thing, and she just like freaks out, and you're like, what? And she's like, I thought you were finally gonna get rough with me, and then she's like punches him in the face.
Yeah, what the fuck?
And but it's getting weird.
I remember in the first season when what do you call it? Miyamura is like talking to his old friends that used to like bully him or something like that. And then Hori comes around and he calls her like a bitch and then like slaps her across the face. I'm like, first off, let's not, to the youth of this generation, let's not depict that as, what a relationship should be.
She wants it, though.
No, but she wanted it. So it's like, in that point,
She was begging him, like, the whole first half of the episode.
Like, hit me. Yell at me. Call me a bitch.
See, that shit's way better than, like, Luffy finding the One Piece.
Oh, it's so much better.
Tell me about your problems about your boyfriend who won't beat you up.
Yeah, won't whack you. Set you straight.
All right. And then I guess I got one more hot take we can close out with. Old animation style is better than new.
I agree and disagree at the same time. I think, because as you know, Cowboy Bebop, that's my number one. That's top dog for me. That's sitting at the, we got a dinner table together, maybe a chandelier over the top. That's sitting at the top of the table right there. He's the one cutting the turkey. But then you look at a show like Hunter x Hunter that, got adapted modern and old. I prefer the modern adaptation of Hunter x Hunter.
I haven't seen the old, but the vibes are there with old animation.
Dude, like Samurai Champloo.
It looks so good.
Just looks so sick.
It looks so good. Like old OG Naruto, like they're fighting in Death Valley at the end. That animation is so good.
Dude, when they, in the first part where, Sasuke and Naruto are fighting, I was bugging out when I first started watching that, just because, like,
who's drawing this?
Yeah, I was like, they're contorting over, like, a fist in their stomach. Yeah, I'm like, what is going on right now?
It's so good.
But it's amazing.
Yeah, but there are these new gen animes that are so beautifully animated.
Like,
Demon Slayer.
I was just about to say Demon Slayer.
But it just doesn't do the same thing for me.
It's like, it's supposed to be like the modern version of that vibe, and it just doesn't hit.
It is pretty fucking beautiful.
No, it's fucking sick, especially when he does like the Sundance and like the most recent one. Oh my god, that shit was fun.
But then like One Piece, I have like old and new to compare in the same show, and I like the old more than I like the new. Like the new is sick as hell, and it goes crazy in the fights. But I love the old stuff.
Yeah,
I'd love to see them like reversed and see how it really changes everything.
Yeah,
if like that is animated that way.
Do you think? Well, because I know a lot of like the modern fight scenes are pretty like insane.
Yeah.
Do you think the old animation's even capable of doing
I
stuff?
don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I think that was like
Mappa would, like, they wouldn't have any workers.
no.
It's
Oh my
already
god.
dead.
Oh my god. They'd be working 700-hour work weeks. Figure it out.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
find the time.
Yeah, I don't know. But what I do like more about new, this is probably the only thing I like more is the color.
Oh,
The color's incredible.
oh my god. It
It's so
scratches
flashy, it's
the itch in
beautiful.
my brain, bro.
Like, I think about the Tengen fight, season 2 of Demon Slayer.
Mhm.
That shit give me chills.
Dude, when he comes back out and like what do you call it? Tanjiro's basically like I can't fight anymore, dude. Like I can't, and he comes back out. Oh my god, I was going nuts. I was in my chair like rooting for him to win, which I've never done that. Like I've never done something.
Yeah,
like that.
I know. All right, well, say that's about time.
It's about that time.
Moral of the episode:
fan
look
service
out.
is good.
Yeah.
That's the moral.
Look out for Undead Unluck coming
Yeah.
out soon. And Neon Genesis Evangelion is horseshit.
Fucking ass.
See you next week.
See you next week.
Just gotta say hello.